Anarchists are prowling the streets of San Francisco. Police officers are responding. Some are getting very agitated. That day, July 8, 2005, the demonstrators wanted to bring attention to the world's inequities and the G8 summit in Scotland, the platform where the wealthiest nations talk strategy. It will take place in Germany this coming June. All footage was filmed and put on the web by Josh Wolf, a 24-year-old multimedia journalist. And because he refused to turn over video to the FBI, Wolf spent 226 days in federal prison. No, not that kind of jail, but rather this kind of correctional facility. Why was the FBI after the tapes? Allegedly, Wolf filmed a cop getting injured. A protester had fired a bottle rocket underneath a police car. And since the damaged car was funded with money from Uncle Sam, the matter could not be handled by the state of California. The FBI argued further that since Wolf hangs out with these anti-capitalists, he must have some inside scoop. Well, Wolf refused to comply with the subpoena to hand over the material. He was finally set free April 3rd when he released all unedited film. Time for the Berkman Center for Internet and Society at Harvard Law School to step in and put on a virtual trial. It had all the components known to legal laymen like myself from watching Law & Order on TV. First, the prosecutor.
In order to protect the life, liberty, and property of all United States citizens, the government has been given certain police powers, including the power to subpoena materials that might contain evidence of a crime.
So, in order to solve a crime, the government can take away freedom of the press? Now, on to the defense.
Josh sits in a 6-foot by 7-foot cell, charged with no crime, being unlawfully held under federal contempt charges. The evidence will show that the police are investigating no crimes. The evidence will show that he believes that nothing is worth giving up the freedom of journalists to report the news to the public.
Aha, journalists should be shielded from the law because their job is to inform us, the public. But is some dude with a blog a real journalist? The trial had a judge with distinguished white wig, a virtual Josh Wolf, and a jury, which included yours truly. Small, but extra committed. For my fellow juror, Philo Arde, it was clear long before this event who is a journalist and who is not in the internet age.
The possibility to express oneself does enable us all to become producers of information. Questions of journalistic credentials may be relevant, but those may be reflected in one's skill as a journalist.
Rebecca Berkman, the woman behind the virtual trial idea, says the main issue at stake here is not a legal one.
There's ubiquitous surveillance happening all the time, done by all of us. And most of the people who are doing this don't think of themselves as agents of the government. So it's a slightly surprising thing when we happen to capture something, or maybe even on purpose capture something that the government wants. It's a question, of whether we should change our behavior and stop taping everything.
So we finally live the world that Neil Stephenson predicted in Snow Crash, where everyone sells snippets of info to the Central Intelligence Corporation. Maybe I should do the same. No. Temptation to sell out can only be cured by one thing: going back to school. Brush up on duties of the Fourth Estate and sleep through the night. From a virtual journalism school near you, this is Draxtor for Life4U News.